All right, good morning. What's going on? North Sale, good morning. Peter, good morning. Cash Mash, good morning. Kyle K, good morning. Got a lot of stocks here popping up again on the scans. Again, it could be another very active day, so be prepared. Let's not get overwhelmed. Stay calm. It's easy to get overwhelmed on these types of days. But the more you're overwhelmed, the easier it is to fumble. So here's SGMO popping up here, penny stock, from 30 cents to 73 cents. Now curling back up to the daily on the high of day, which is nice. Maybe do have news on it. SGMO announces positive top-line results for its phase 3 trial of hemophilia. Hemophilia, a gene therapy candidate. So phase 3 results. Right? Drug rarely gets up to phase 3. And they're eligible up to a $220 million milestone payment, 14 to 20% royalties if approved and commercialized. So this is some pretty decent news. I'm surprised the market hasn't really pumped this up even more than this, but I do like SGMO. I really like it. Let's take a look at the float. Maybe it's the float that's making this stock not really move as much. SGMO. Yeah, so this is why. So yeah, float is 187 million shares. 187 million. It kind of makes sense now why this stock wasn't really moving, and it had such a good catalyst. So that just goes to show you how much float has to do with making massive moves in the market. So SGMO, great catalyst. It is a penny stock. I've been doing pretty well in penny stocks, but unfortunately the float's just too big. Float is just too massive. So unless this has to turn like 5-6 million shares per 1 minute candle for me to really start trading it, and for this stock to really start making a massive move. And I just don't know the likelihood of that happening. What's up, Al B? Good morning. Good morning, Chad. Good morning, Pete. So SGMO, that's our one of our gappers up. A little bit of a larger float though. So that will go in a side chart. The leading gapper is up 320%, and that is on NUZE. NUZE, news. Does news have news? News does not have news. So I'm not sure why it's trading up, but it's very choppy, man. Look how choppy this is. Definitely struggling to hold highs. Not what we like to see. But we're holding dips. We're holding higher lows. So it's also, it's bullish and it's bearish at the same time. But yeah, not holding highs is definitely a red flag, and something we should definitely be wary of. Trading this thing aggressively, especially near the highs. And we don't know why it's up. Could just be sympathy momentum just from the previous days. Check out the float. Float's 3.8 million. So leading gapper, no news. That's on NUZE. Next is gapper, DRMA. SGMO still inching a little bit higher here. But it's probably not, if it's going to open up, it's probably not going to open up until the open because of the float. Maybe I'm leaving some money on the table here, but by not really trading it, it does have a really good catalyst. I don't know. Maybe this is an anomaly. Maybe it's one of the, I've been around the past maybe 3 or 4 years trading, every day. I've seen about maybe 2 times where a stock over 100 million share float, for between 100 and 200 million share float, make a massive move regardless, just because the sheer amount of volume and the decent, really good catalyst. It's happened twice in 4 years. Is this one of those times? I doubt it, but it could be. And I forget the stocks. I know the one stock was GEVO, GEVO. This was during 2020 market, and it was very hot. Volume was insane. GEVO went from like 35 cents to like $7, something like that, for like over the course of 2 or 3 days. I think maybe the next one was FFIE. Maybe it was FFIE. I thought the float on FFIE was a little bit bigger, but I'm not exactly sure. Or something else. I don't remember. But I remember there's 2 times that it happened. That a stock with over 100 million share float made a massive move. So maybe this is one of those times, or maybe not. But that's SGMO. NUZE, it's up, it's volatile, it's choppy. Who knows if this thing will open up. DRMA, let's see if we have news on DRMA. It's our second leading gapper. No news on DRMA. Trading below VWAP. Made a pretty good move there from 140 all the way up to 539. It's good to see, but we're trading back down here at $3. The lows of $3, down to high 2s and low 3s. The float is really, really small. From what I can tell, 900,000 shares, very, very small. But will this curl back up is the thing. Will this curl back up? Who knows? But I'll put an alert. If it does, then it does. Let's get rid of these drawings. We don't need all these drawings here. Next stock in the gap scan, PIRS. PIRS. We have news. Yes, we do have news, but it's a definitive merger agreement, so this is likely not going to move. Likely not going to move. So no volume on this one. PIRS. BBLG. BBLG, Bone Biologics Corporation. Choppy as all hell. BBLG. This one was moving yesterday, kind of randomly, and then just gives back everything. So be careful on this one for sure. This thing's again no news. Just moving on sympathy momentum. It's a 1 million share float or lower. I don't really like it. Nothing's really showing me that that's gonna be big in BBLG. Nothing is showing me it's gonna be a big move. HOTH. We're getting lower on the gap scan. This one trading higher after the company signed an agreement with LTS Therapy Systems to develop and manufacture HTALZ oral film prototype for Alzheimer's disease. It does have news, but volume is light and consistent. Starting to get that barcode kind of effect here, which is not really a good sign. But maybe we can curl up, maybe because this is one of the only stocks that has news. It's a low float. We do have these topping tail for resistance up here at 192, but if we can break that, we can curl back up. Shorts are going to be on the ropes up through 170, 180, $2. So maybe we can get that break. But this would have to just be resurrected from the dead. Like this will just have to be curling up at like 945, 950, just curling up from the dead right after they open and just taking everyone by surprise. So this is one of those stocks that I'll put an alert here around over this pivot. So that way I can catch it for the break of the pre-market high. But right now it's not showing good right now. Not showing anything good here. So All right, back. Chad, good morning. Pete, good morning. Drew, good morning. Nuclear Trading, good morning. General CJ, good morning. Triad, how are you? I am doing fantastic. Hopefully you're doing good as well. LITM, Don Kai says LITM. Let's take a look. LITM, Snow Lake Resources. A little bit low volume, but it's curling up. I'm not sure what the float is on this. LITM looks like outstanding is 21 million. Float on LITM is 13 million. So I mean it's checking some boxes, but not all the boxes. Doesn't have news, and the volume is low. So I'd keep it on the side chart. James Bennett, good morning. I don't think LITM is obvious enough. Yeah, I think you're right, Paul Lewis, right now. I don't think LITM is obvious right now. Jorge 10 just subscribed. Awesome. Great to see. Jorge 10, welcome to the community. Mikey T, good morning. Edison Bings. Hoff has warrants exercising at 150. I don't know how much that will influence. Let's take a quick look at that. It could influence. I don't have Dilution Tracker Pro or like the paid version, so I can't see how many are left to be executed for the 150 warrants. So it looks like we do have 150 warrants here. I mean, this could be contributing to resistance around that area or above that area, because of people exercising their warrants and taking their profits. But, you know, there's 3 million warrants issued. How many of those have been exercised? Maybe it's good that I should upgrade and start paying, but you'd be able to see the warrants left to be exercised. So that could be some good information for that. Yeah, it does have some warrants. But it doesn't mean it still can't make a move. It depends really how many are left, and how many people are just going to hold on to it instead of taking their profits. What have we got next? Trap Trader, good morning. Edison Bings, good morning. Good morning. Jose, good morning. Vols, go Vols. Good morning. Those Tennessee Vols. But anyways, let's take a look at the rest of our scan. So our leading gapper yesterday, AZTR. Look at this. This is nasty. This is also not going to be good for momentum, by the way. But this thing goes from $1.50 a share, rips up in the span of 3 hours, maybe less, to $12 a share. This is insane. I rarely see this. This is crazy. From $12 a share. Imagine if you got a short up here. Imagine if you're shorting up here. Imagine just how beautiful of an entry if you got short right here on this bounce, or just said, oh, you know what? I think this is not holding up. You know, I'm just going to take a short here at 11.50. Just shorting into the front side because it already made a $12 move, which I don't recommend. I'm not a short seller. You probably shouldn't do that. Usually short sellers wait for the first bounce or the second bounce and then short off the top. But anyways, even if you got any of these, this thing faded all the way down, didn't get any sort of significant like fake out for the shorts, none of that nonsense, which we usually expect. So they didn't get faked out at all. So there's likely shorts still holding from 1038. This thing faded all the way down. No sweat. Like RT likes it says, they were sitting on their desk, smoking a cigar, or with their feet up on the desk. That's how they traded this. Crazy. And this thing went all the way down, closed at $4 a share. What happened overnight? Let's see what happened overnight. $10 million offering on AZTR. This thing opens up 93 cents a share. These short sellers just made a boat ton of cash if they held this thing. But $10 million offering, how many shares is that? How many shares did they put on the market here? And Class A warrants, by the way. 6 million shares. So they diluted their stock price, 6 million shares. So this thing went from a 1 million share float to a 7 million share float. Did they just sell warrants at... Dude, they just literally sold warrants with an exercise price at $1.50 a share. What? Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a steal. This thing was just $12 like less than 24 hours ago, and now they're selling warrants for an exercise price of $1.50 a share? I want some of those. Man, that's like... Anyways, I think this could potentially give a bounce. I think this could potentially give a bounce off the low. So I think AZTR is going to give us a little juice here because short sellers have to cover at some point. They have to cover at some point. It could be a bounce. We do have room here, maybe fill this gap here from, what is that, like 150 up to 3. Maybe we won't get all the way up to 350, but maybe we can get up to like 250. But it should give us something at the open. It's not an A+ setup. It's not something that I usually look for, but it may give us an opportunity. If you're willing to take the risk, it may give us an opportunity. As far as A+ coming out of the open, I don't see anything yet that's obvious, which kind of sucks because yesterday the obvious stock was just clear. AZTR was ripping coming into the open, and then at the open just blast off, just to the moon, gone. Like, that's it. If you didn't buy, that's it. Your next stop was $11 a share. Today we don't have that. Today we have news, just choppy with no news, and it's up 323%. That other stock was what? HOTH was. This one has news. SGMO has news. Those are really the only two gappers that have news. As you guys are turning into your own trading, make sure you drop that like on the way out. Subscribe if you're new. What's the float on news? I forget. NUZE. 3.8 million shares for news. What do I think, man? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just going to have to be patient and wait for the winner to show itself. I mean, we could also see, like, maybe today we don't see that hot momentum. Maybe we don't. I mean, because AZTR literally went from 1 to 12 to 1 within 24 hours. That's usually not a good sign. Usually not good for momentum. What we like to see for momentum, like, is the leading gapper, the leading gapper to kind of hold, at least hold its range, at least hold up 50% of the move, at least consolidate somewhere around 50%, and then attempt another high. If it does break for another high, then, you know, the momentum is still alive, you know, and the sympathy momentum will continue to go. That's usually what we see in a hot market, but we haven't seen the winner really hold up all that great on any of these stocks. How was Serve? Serve is the one that's kind of really started it on Friday. I mean, it is holding at 50% of the move. Maybe we see a curl again at some point on SCRV. I'll put an alert, but maybe we see a curl sometime on SCRV. MIRA was another one. I mean, it's holding up, not quite 50%, but maybe about 40% of the move. How much is it down here? Oops. Yeah, about 40%. So we held up 40% of the move, which isn't terrible, but maybe we can see something here on MIRA as well. So I'll keep this one on the side chart. I'll keep Serve on the side chart. I don't have enough charts, I don't think. So it's either going to be Serve or MIRA, or we can get rid of something. First, we can bring this alert down here. I'll bring the alert down right below the break of 3, because then maybe I can catch that break of 3. Maybe I can actually bring it lower over the range here, over the higher end of this range. It's probably where I want to start trading it. And again, I can probably get rid of these here, these drawings. All right, so I'm probably going to sit tight. I'm going to sit tight for the open. That's my plan. And just kind of be patient, be receptive to the market. Yeah, so it looks like one of the traders in the RT Discord saying, because I was saying, oh, what does everyone think about the AZTR dead cat bounce potentially? He was saying the problem is the public offering was so huge with the low price. So yeah, they literally diluted that stock, diluted their shares about 80% from 1 million to 6 million. That's got to be what, like 80%, 85%, something like that. So he's saying that the public offering was so huge relative to the amount of shares that they had with such a low price that he says he doesn't think there's a room for a bounce. So he's saying since there's warrants at 150, and since this, what price did they sell the offering at? AZTR. How many? What was the average share price here? I think, was it both at 150? Yeah. They sold even the offering at $1.50 a share. That's crazy. So he's saying since the offering was at $1.50, he's saying that there's likely going to be too much overhead resistance for the dead cat bounce. So be careful with the dead cat bounce since they did do the offering at 150. So that could be the significant resistance. So it may seem it has a lot of room, but there's going to be a lot of resistance over 150 because of that offering and as well as the warrants at 150. So he's saying there's not going to be enough room for a bounce, which I can totally see now. So that's my game plan. Just going to be patient, be receptive to the market, stay calm, cool, and collected. We don't know if today is going to be another hot day or if today is going to be a dud and the end of the hot market or the end of the sequence of momentum for right now. So let's be patient, be open to anything, and be receptive to the market. And of course, follow our rules. So good luck. Stay vigilant today. Drop that like button on the way out, and I'll catch you guys later. All right. Good luck.